Hey Academy, we're back for another track guide here. Today we're going to be doing Raceway National. You guys should be familiar with a good portion of this track since we did Bridge earlier. So just a little bit of a change towards the back end. So let's get right into it today. Front straight, just like last time, being 6th gear. I use this red stripe as soon as I hit the here. That's when I get on the brakes. So I'm going to drop down from 6th, 5th, 4th. Then I like to swing into 3rd into this little section here. Some people try 4th, but I still think 3rd's a little nicer. Goal is to get your left tires, obviously, right over this curbing as much as possible without, going off track. Swing it back in nice and quick. You'll be in 3rd gear as soon as you get past this. Quick rev and you'll be right into 4th gear. Nice and wide. Bring it all the way over to the right. You're going to stay on the throttle up to 5th gear. You're going to go just over this curbing, and I like to tap the brakes just as I get to this right-hand curb here. Once I get on the brakes, I'm going to drop it down to 4th gear, and then just sort of play with the brakes and let the car coast in. It's a little different how I took it before. I'm learning more about this car, and you don't need to go as low in the gearing. It'll really pull from a higher gear than you think, and it keeps the car a little more stable. So I think before I took this in 3rd, now I take it in 4th. But again, just sort of playing with the brakes, just slowing it down enough just to get to this apex right here. As soon as you get to this, I'm right back on the gas, still in 4th gear. It's going to push you out wide. As soon as you pass the curbing, again, you're back on the brakes. Turn it in, try and get 2 wheels up over this, and you're right back on the gas. Here we follow it through 4th, up to 5th over here. Wide there. For me, I like to brake a little before that little black stripe right there. I find if I brake much later than there, actually even before that, if I brake once I crest this hill, I feel the car gets a little light and the rear come around on me, so I like to get on the brakes just as I'm getting to the top of this hill. And when I say get on them, it's not a lot of pressure. It's just enough to slow the car down, sort of get it under control. You'll see that when we do the lap at speed. Anytime you get on the brakes a little bit, drop it to 4th gear, right around here, and the car's going to want to slide, so I'm just trying to keep it under control. As soon as you get an opening, it's full throttle. In 4th gear, you come all the way out. This is where things get a little new from last time, right? So you go through these little S's here. There's a left-hander up here. I'm on the brakes, obviously, right at this white line. Even a little before this, if you get on too late, because of the way this road curves over to the left and downhill, the rear could come around on you a little bit. So again, you want to play with the brakes a little bit. It's not all or nothing. Sort of feed into the brakes a little bit here. Slow the car down. I take this in 4th. I just feel it's a little easier to control the car again through here. You're going to cut it in. What's important is to try and stay to the left here and swing it over as hard as you can to the right, because you want to be on the power as early as possible coming out of that. All right, entering that corner faster and exiting slower is not going to be good. You want to enter it slower and exit faster so you get to run up this hill. Quick dab on the brakes from 5th down to 4th. This curb is nearly impossible to see, at least in VR. So you want to brake just before or up to this apex here and then get right back on the gas. You can get your 2 tires on the curbing here, but it can get a little violent. So be careful about how much of this curb you ride. Once you get on it, again, it's 4th gear. Just follow it right on through. Up to 5th. Right here, a little dab of the brake right before that little blue paint starts. Right there. Right before you get to that, I'm going to drop it down to 4th gear. Just get off of the brake for a second, turn it in. Ride this in tight, full throttle. Let the car come way out wide. You get a little bump right here, you're fine. Up to 5th, up to 6th. Pretty basic. Since we've done this track before, you guys should be pretty familiar with it. I think just about everybody's in here. So brakes, 4th, 3rd gear, turn it in. Up to 5th. Turn in, brake, 4th, keep it in wide. Brake to the apex, throttle. Brake, turn in, accelerate out of that. Before you crest, turn it in, full throttle. Far to the left, brake, down the 4th, on the gas, and one more turn to go, 5th gear, we'll drop the 4th right before the blue line, 4th, let it turn in, oh, way wide, right back on the gas, and all the way back up to the starting line. So that's this one. I'm sure Mike's going to point out how I'm 4 seconds slower at some point in this track after he watches this, but we'll talk about that in the Discord channel. So any questions, feel free to hit us coaches up in there. I'm going to throw a quicker lap on so you guys can see the speed, and I'll talk to you guys in Discord.